Okay, there's this amazing quote that I just saw from the Bible, Ephesians 4:22-24. You are taught with regard to your former life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. Okay, so the reason that I love this quote, it's got a lot of like religious biblical language, but if you look at it, just like let's break this down. So with regard to your former way of life, already it's telling you like what you did before, the person that you were yesterday, the person that you were in the past, that's your former way of life. It's saying put off your old self. So who was that person that you were in the past? For me, when I look back and I think about the person that I was before I started doing my daily morning process, my positive habits, personal development, I was a person that could not be counted on. I was a person that had frequent mood swings. I got irritated a lot. I didn't take responsibility for my experience as a copywriter, as a writer, freelance writer. And I was just very mad at a lot of things, right? So that's my old self. So this verse is telling us put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires. So your old self wants to engage in negative thoughts, negative habits, things that will bring you down. And I just love this because it's saying, like, take it off, like, take off that old self, that old identity. That seems to be a theme that's really coming up in 2023 already, is like our identity, like upgrading our identity, changing our identity, like casting off the old self, which is being corrupted by deceitful desires. Now, what does this mean? When I see this phrase, deceitful desires, this could be the simplest of things. This is like you wanting to eat a bunch of food that you know will make you feel like crap the next day. Sugar, alcohol, fatty food, fast food, whatever it is, it's a deceitful desire. It could be anything, really. It could be like looking at something that you shouldn't be looking at. It can be wasting time on news, negative news, or forum, or just somewhere where people are just bitching constantly and you know that there's no purpose for you even being there. It could be anything. So what is the deceitful desire? This verse is saying cast it off of yourself. It's almost like you're wearing this jacket, this old like shirt, and it just doesn't even fit you anymore. It's being corrupted by these deceitful desires. And then there's a semicolon here. So it's also saying, be made new in the attitude of your minds. Right? Be made new. So what does that mean? That means every single morning when you wake up, you're waking up to a clean slate, a fresh start. You can create today however you want it to be. You can be made new just by changing your attitude. Like, if you change your attitude, if you change the way you look at things, you change your perception of it, you're going to change your actual experience in life. And put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. Now, I really love this. Put on your new self. So I coach people and I help them really change their identity in the way that they see themselves, because a lot of copywriters don't actually believe that they can even do a writing assignment. They don't believe they can charge a lot for it. They don't believe that they're capable of learning into that skill. They don't believe that they can actually build a really solid income around writing. Like, they have a lot of limiting beliefs, doubts. And this is saying, put on your new self. Like, if you were someone that fully believed in yourself because you were waking up early, you were tracking your macros, you were eating the right foods, you were doing a hard workout every day, you were pushing your muscles, and you were doing all these positive things, and you cut out all the stuff that was based on deceitful desires, like imagine what that would change in your life, right? Now, this verse is saying that the new self was created to be like God. Now, no matter what your religious beliefs or background or any of that, like if you think of what God means, God is the one that created the entire universe, right? Created the internal systems that are in our body, created the flow and the rhythm, the seasons, right? Like blood flowing through inside of you. We're not doing any of that. That's all automated by this like divine, beautiful, perfect orchestration, right? So that's powerful to be able to create something. That's a level of power. And it's saying, be like that. Be like that in righteousness and holiness. I'm not sure about this part of it. I think righteousness is like, doing what's right, being called by your higher self to do what's right and following that calling. I think that's what it means. And holiness, I would see this as you're taking the time to just get rid of all this stuff that was your deceitful desires. Holiness is like, adhering to your conscience, adhering to what you're being called to do. So I wanted to share that verse because it's really amazing, and I think we can learn a lot from it.